But if one fragment of his light remains, I'll chase it through the dark in tattered form. Even a cursed heart can still remember why it bleeds. I wear the crown of my own sin and fire, but still I run beyond the edge of fate. If redemption lives inside destruction, then let it rise from all of his hate. I'll become the blade that cuts my downfall, the fallen king who stands again in flame. Even if no God forgives my shadow, I will not vanish in his I never saw the arrow leave my trembling hands. Only heard the shattered cry of heaven falling down. They told me it was fate. They whispered it was right. Yet the blood upon the snow was burning into my side. I reach for a memory that no longer breathes. A warmth that vanished when I learned the truth of me. The light I struck was never meant to fade, but now the sun itself recalls from my shame. I carry the weight of a God I could not see, a sin carved deeper than eternity. Through frozen tears, I scream a silent name, praying for a dawn that will never be the same. If broken hands could shape tomorrow's flame, I'd give my soul just to erase this The voices of the righteous pierce through my skull, calling me a monster shaped by blind control. I was just a shadow trembling in the dark, yet they crowned me executioner of the light. I was never given the truth I deserve, only lies wrapped in ritual and curse command. Now every breath feels borrowed from his death, and every heartbeat echoes my regret. I carry the weight of a God I could not see, a sin carved deeper than eternity. Through frozen tears, I scream a silent name, praying for a dawn that will never be the same. If broken hands could shape tomorrow's flame, I'd give my soul just to erase this blame. They promised me a miracle born from ruin and scar, a rebirth stitched together by the remnants of a star. But resurrection forged from grief and shame is just another form of endless pain. If he returns with fractured life, will he forgive my endless night? Even if the light returns in shards of gold, I will stand If this is the curse of loving life, then let us bleed for one more night. Even a shadow of your flame can tear from her dreams. The gods stand frozen in their grief, afraid to speak the name carved deep into the laws. We watch the purest flame fall gently through betrayal, dressed as fate and justice. Even thunder lost its voice that day, and every star dimmed its eternal love. From shattered heaven down to mortal soul, the world learned how to mold a perfect soul. Yet beneath the frost we feel a trembling pulse that dares to whisper, not all hope is dead. Across the blackened roots of Yggdrasil, a spark still breathed in secret agony. If even light can bleed and fall, then light might rise again through endless skies. Bold, your name still burns inside the cold, where every prayer was left to rot. We chase your shadow through the night of gods with trembling hands and breaking hearts. Even if the dawn is torn and flawed, we will still scream your fragile return. Between despair and desperate faith, we stand where broken miracles are born. Incomplete resurrection, yet your fire still teaches us to Hell's dark veil swallowed every final breath. A kingdom built from frozen farewell tears. Friggs lament still echoes through the void, where time itself refuses to forgive. We offered every vow and every sin to bend the laws that bound the dead, but fate answered with cruel mercy. Only half forged in the wounds of loss, a life returned in fractured form, alive yet haunted by its fall. If perfection died upon that spear, then imperfection must now carry hope. Through trembling limbs and uncertain flame, the future dares to learn how to breathe again. We run, not toward what once was pure, but toward what might yet become whole. Bold, your scarred rebirth ignites the dark, where every god once feared to stand. We reach for dawn with bleeding faith, guided by a broken yet living hand. Even a wounded sun can rise again and tear the night with trembling flame. Between despair and desperate faith, we choose to burn inside the pain. Incomplete resurrection, yet your fire still drives us Perfection shattered on betrayal's edge, yet meaning grew inside the cracks. A flawless light was never meant to teach the strength of standing scarred. Through failure, fear, and trembling rebirth, we learned what living faith demands. Even gods must crawl through doubt to let the weight of rising scars. But in perfect light of dawn, you prove that hope need not be whole. Through fractured wings, you still ascend and carve the sky with wounded gold. We do not wait for flawless grace. We run with fire we barely hold. Between despair and desperate faith, we choose to live, we choose the fall. Incomplete resurrection, yet your flame becomes our soul. teeth when hope is torn apart and love still screams beneath the need to kill. Father, if vengeance is my final sin, then let these tears become my only shield. These are the tears bound to ice and fade, no longer frozen, no longer afraid. My sorrow roars through shattered heavens, a daughter's grief turned unchained blade. Even as ruin crowns my trembling hands, your memory still guides my way. In every storm, in every burning scar, my tears will strike for what was taken away. Snowfalls in silence over broken prayers. A golden dream lies cold beneath the sky. We whispered your name into frozen hands, chasing warmth that would not rise. The dawn forgot how to forgive the night, and even hope is trembling in the dark. Your light was everything we ever knew. Now all we have is a fading spark. If you return through shattered time and scars, even unfinished, even torn apart, I will believe in the broken miracle again. Though your light is cracked and incomplete, it still ignites this dying heart and teaches me that loss is not the end. They say your soul still drifts between the worlds, half in the flame, half lost in endless sleep. We chase the echo of your vanished warmth through wounds too deep to keep. The heavens closed their eyes the day you fell and left us bleeding faith into the snow. Yet somewhere in the silence of despair, a fragile pulse still says you'll glow. If you return through shattered time and scars, even unfinished, even torn apart, I will believe in the broken miracle again. Though your light is cracked and incomplete, it still ignites this dying heart and teaches me that loss is not the end. the snow. I walk a path that carries